Hi guys, Artiar here. So something really interesting happened in CN pre-launch video. So just for a few seconds, they might have accidentally revealed a brand new Animus in the future. So we'll take a closer look at the clip and also talk about what it could mean. But that's not all. Since I'm a Malaysian Chinese, I understand Chinese. I know I can listen them. I can also read them as well. So I'll go through the CN pre-launch content video and go through like what have they talked about it, and then also the Q&A video they previously launched as well. I'll be also breaking down for that part. So in this video here, I'll be breaking down the Animus teaser and also help explain and translate the key points from the CN Q&A as well, especially around why PvE feels so tough right now. They also explain through the Q&A. Alright, so the first thing, we're gonna take a look at the pre-launch review. Alright, so this is 35 minutes long. I'm definitely not going to go through the whole thing. I will just go through some of the key points and roughly go through what they have discussed about. So let me lower down the audio so that we have two people here actually trying to explain the whole game, like introduce the whole Etheria restart game to the CN player as well. Okay, so we have these two girls instead of our two boys one. Alright, so we will skip this part. So they will explain like how the game works, and then they will play back the official teaser video they used to post for us as well. And then after that, they will go through more about then they also mentioned the official global launch is actually on September 25, because currently in CN they having a beta test. And the beta test there, they are actually able to spend to actually get Hydra voucher and higher rebate, like how we did for our paid beta test as well. And they also have this lock-in event here for them to actually get Hydra voucher and a lot of summon for them to actually test out a lot of different units for their CN beta test currently. It's not at the global, that's just a beta test, because the global one will be at September 25. So which means that when it released on September 25, that will be the official global launch. Alright, so then that time might actually have a very big changes to the whole game, because you know, we kind of joke ourselves with the current release is we're kind of like the beta test server for them to test out what they should actually add in. They did implement the same thing and also the same update into the current CN server as well. For example, the Yelly, Ninfonel, Batsby, the PvE preset, PvP preset, all these things here they also implemented to the CN current beta test. Alright then, but their pre-register reward is still going to be the same. Like all this summon, the frame and the costume here is the same pre-register reward. And then they also mentioned about content creators comment. Like for example, we have Sean B here to actually go through like telling them that he enjoyed the game. And also we have Volkin Gacha here to go through and telling them. And we have like Limulu TV. We have Limulu TV, and then we have some Korean content creator. We also have their own Chinese content creator as well to invite the other player to actually join. Alright, then they also mentioned this is what they're gonna go through for the whole video. Like this is the global launch, that how they actually what is Etheria restart, and then all 65 Animus unit currently we have in game, what kind of gameplay we have, what kind of PvP gameplay we have, and also all these like code stuff, which is not too important for us because we can't use the code. And then let's slightly go through at the back here, like the other Animus, like let's say Ninfonel, we have Batsby, we have Nahor, Yeli, Fuchu, all these kind of Animus that did not appear previously in the beta test for the CN. They mention about it, like all these new Animus that have not appeared before. So basically they did mention that all these new one they are not appear in our current game, and it will appear in their current CN beta test. Right, basically all the new Animus. And because they have the new Animus, right, so they're gonna make the rate up banner as well to actually have the current rate up. So we can take a look here at their rate up banner. They have Freya as usual for our first Animus, and then they have Yeli as the rate up instead of Messiah, because previously we have Messiah as the rate up, but now they made it for Yeli. So it's actually a very good thing for the player, CN player, because one of the things that player complain the most, or which is the PvE is too hard, right? And Messiah doesn't help too much in terms of like PvE clearing or faster, all these things. Yeli actually does a better job for that case, and they make Yeli into the rate up banner when they start the server, which means they have an easier time and actually have a better investment for the PvE Animus, for example Yeli, to actually help them clear the PvE content. Okay, so instead of Messiah, they have Yeti here, and then they also have the targeted summon, but the targeted summon here is still maintaining the previous old Animus. So the targeted summon is not going to include like Nymphonial and like Batsby, all these kind of new Animus, they won't include it. So if we take a look at the targeted summon banner here, so we can see the targeted banner here will not put in the after the Animus that is newer than Freya. Like after Freya, everything here would included here. So the targeted banner here still remain the same as ours. Yeah, they are not able to pick like Nymphonia or probably pick a Hoyen Holden. They are not able to do that. Right, so in terms of that part, the targeted summon is the same. Then they briefly went through about how the system work, like how they the module system and also how the pet system, which is the shell, how they actually mix and match it. And then they also went through like how they grind the equipment, all these kind of bosses thing. Then they also mentioned from this part here, they mentioned that they also made the preset function, the preset formation function into the game. Because previously when global release, they did not put this, right? Then after we complained about it and after we suggestion about it, then they added this into the game. Then they also mentioned this in their video that this preset formation here is going to implement into the CN server as well. So when they start the game, they instantly have the preset function. So it's going to be a very good quality of life for them to actually start tuning their stages and also their PvE content. So it will make the process a lot more smoother and better compared to ours. Then they also went through like their event content, what we have like the dice thing, the board game, this kind of thing to mix and match to get the rewards. And then they also mentioned about Dreamscapes as well later on, which is including at one of their event as well. Alright, so basically we are the test server here to let them test things out, and then they're gonna tune something better for the CN. But after that, CN and global, we have the same progression in terms of new Animus and also event as well. So we will get the same thing. So whatever CN is gonna get, we are going to get as well. Okay, so this is the part I want to mention the most. So when this part they introduced about the union system, like they are able to collect the shards to the fragment to actually get a free deal. Then if we take a look at the element part here, right, like for example the red color one, everything here Animus we seen before. And then when you go to the blue one, we can see Nymphona and Batsby here. So basically they are very updated for their current video showcase. And then when we look until the holo, we will see a new Animus that we didn't see before. Right, so I'm not sure if this is gonna be like the final outcome, but at least this one here, this girl is a green element, and then the name here will be Ni Ling. So I'm not sure if the English name is gonna be the same, but for now her name in Chinese is called Ni Ling, because if we compare like for example Freya and the Chinese name called Fuleya, so it's basically the same wording as well. And like for example Claus in Chinese is Ke Luo Si, so it's very similar to their own name. So in Chinese here it's called Ni Ling, then probably in English name is going to be Ni Ling. I'm not sure, but she's going to be a holo unit, and it seems DPS feeling because of the sword here. So but that's basically just a few seconds of showcase. It's not going to basically show the whole Animus here. It's just you get the idea of the art itself, like how it looks like for this upcoming holo, because probably after Batsby is going to be her. After the Batsby LD unit, then it's probably going to be her. Then the video comes here like, oh, what kind of PvE gameplay they have, what kind of PvP gameplay they have. They also introduce it as well. And then now they introduce about their arena system. Then after that will be the RTA system as well. They also mentioned about EWS, because they also wanted to make the esport one of their big part of the game, right? So they also mentioned EWS competition in their video. You can see here like all this. After that, like we can see the EWS here, like hand vs Kacker. Then they promote the EWS a lot. Alright. Then another thing is end of the year they will have another EWS, which is fully global and the final match, because EWS 全球总决赛, so it's gonna be a EWS fully global and the final battle of it. And then every top player here will fight together in the EWS global. And end of the year. And before end of the year here, September, they also gonna have a battle, which is gonna be 异色18罗汉大对决. So at September they're gonna have this fight. I'm not sure how is it gonna do, but from the posing itself, this looks like Kacker, because Kacker's posing is like this, right? I'm not sure the other two here, but September they're gonna have a very big fight basically in our server, because they mentioned Guofu, so it's global server here. September we're gonna have a big fight, so probably we have another big tournament to actually look forward in the upcoming future, because now it's already end of August, so we're gonna have a new tournament coming soon. Okay, so this is basically for their pre-launch video, because the pre-launch video is mainly for targeting the CN player, right? To introduce what is Etheria style, how to play, and then what they're gonna have, and the codes. It won't work for us. Okay, then we're gonna take a look at the Q&A now. Alright, so within this part here, then all these 8 or 9 content creators, they are inside this room here. They're gonna have a Q&A with Jack instantly. Alright, so they mentioned something, and I think it's a very detailed breakdown. It's actually very interesting, so I would like to actually explain and go through as well. Okay, so when they released this video is at July 10th. 1 or 2 months ago, they already released this video, so it's not something new or something updated, okay? But I think the information is still pretty good, like how the behind the scenes about how they made the game and what is the concept when they actually make the game. Alright, so first thing, they did mention that how their game performance when they launch global, like for example top 3 at USA and also in French as well. Like in iOS, the free ranking here is top 1, and then like role playing is also top 1. And then Tongnanya is the Southeast Asia thing, like Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, all this thing is also at the top 1 for the free ranking here, lasts for 2 days. Okay, then PC Yonghu is the PC player, actually have more than half from the data itself. So there's 4 main things that actually change for in this type of genre. For the first one is going to be the strategy, the second one is about their art, and the third one is going to be the monetization, and the fourth one is about esport. Alright, so we can slightly went through because I can't skip too much. So the first thing is about the strategy. So how they made it is because they have like 10 kind of different version, and this version when we played is the shell system combined with the module system, and then we get the module effect. So this is the final version. They went up into their strategy and also for their building of Animus. This is what he briefly explained. They have like 10 kind of different idea, but in the end this is the final version they actually went for. Then he's breaking down the module, like for example White Fang here, how they gonna combine, and also the module shell system. So they mentioned that this part here, they actually spend the most time in terms of like character building and the shell building. They spend the most time to deliver this kind of system. Then the second thing is about the UI, the art. Like, so they mentioned their 3D model compared with other game is not really that top notch, but compared with other PvP game is actually considered top notch because they are going for 3D model instead for all this kind like paper character or the chibi character. Then the other thing is about monetization. They went through is about the character of summon, because they think that people and also players are very sensitive when it comes to summoning for their favorite Animus. So they made a very big changes, which is without any 50-50. So there's no 50-50. The Chokapu why here is no 50-50. For those gacha game here is a very rare situation, and every 80 summon here is definitely going to be 1 SSR. So this is what I mentioned about the monetization is also a very big changes, and also no weapon summon pool as well. Like behind the scene, this is what the core system about their monetization. They break through it from earning money from the character itself. But that's one of the reasons why Lattice is so expensive, because that's the way to actually earn their revenue, because they're not going to earn much from the character now since there's no 50-50. And then the last one is going to be like the esport here. All these things here, they also very focused into the esport. Then they may build up the stage here to actually let the player to come and fight. And then this is the UI we actually saw in game last night. Okay, then it comes to the Q&A part. We can see Jack here is actually very scared about the Q&As that they're gonna ask later on. So this guy here, he mentioned about like the building of a character is actually very long. So he did mention that about building up a character actually takes a lot of time and actually very difficult. For example, the PvE. So 如果看待 PvE 的养成非常困难. So PvE is very difficult. So he asked like, why do you make PvE so hard. Like for example, at the early game stages, is grinding the PvE gear really that fun? I directly translate the Chinese thing here, then it directly asks Jack. Then Jack is like, oh, the first question is like so direct into point. Right, so then he shared about how he actually designed the game. So probably player actually thought that PvP game is only just focusing on PvP, but for them, making a PvP game, they have to be PvE and also PvP, because they have to be a fully rotation and a loop, because they think this is actually a loop, like PvP going for PvE, then PvE is going for PvP. And in a turn-based game here, to fully enjoy the turn-based game, there's actually two fun parts. The first thing is going to be PvE, have to be fun, because that's why when they made this project, they are hoping that in PvE here, they have actually some challenges and also some strategy to fun. So when you're building through or you're going through the PvE content, you are facing some difficulty, so you actually try to think harder and also try to find out different strategy to build a different team comp to clear the PvE content, instead of some other card game, because they did mention like some other card game, they are just going to be like stats game. 是印卡你的数值练度 is like you have to reach a certain amount of stats to actually hit pass through, but for him he want to make the PvE more about strategy gameplay. So like if you make a very good planning here, or like team comp here, it will reduce a lot of the stats requirement to actually clear the boss. So that's for their part, and then they want you to actually make a very good PvE team in order to let you so you can actually clear the game a lot more faster. In terms of PvE, you can clear it very faster, so you have efficiency, time, and also the quality to actually build for your PvP team. That is their idea about it. So Jack is hoping that this PvE and PvP here is going to be a fun part for you and make it into a very good loop. And the more knowledge you have in PvE, it will also grow your PvP knowledge. That's based on him probably understanding about the character, I guess. So, and then the second question is why when you lose, you want to actually drop stamina. Like when we lose a stage here, then we will actually drop 1 stamina, right? We will lose 1 stamina. It's a very frustrating thing, but he mentioned that because there's too many bots and also hacker outside there, and if you can just keep on challenging the same bosses and the same thing without losing any stamina, then they can actually make a bot to keep on testing different kind of team build to actually hardcore and break through and find out what is the best kind of team comp. That's what his answer. And then the 付出的体力和得到的资源不匹配 is like when you spend 10 stamina, it feels like the stamina spend and the resources you get is not matching in terms of the value. I have no idea what kind of other mobile game you guys play, but he mentioned the other kind of gameplay, they probably stamina is like unlimited. You are able to buy unlimited kind of stamina and keep on grinding whole day long. But that is not their key idea when they make the game, because they don't want to earn fast money. So that's the reason why they don't want to like sell stamina pack and also not able to buy unlimited stamina. So every day you're only able to buy 10 attempts. So they're trying to shorten the range between pay-to-win player and free-to-play player, because if pay-to-win player can buy like let's say 100 stamina a day or unlimited kind of stamina per day, then the gear difference is going to be very big compared with free-to-play and also pay-to-win. So that's his idea about it. So that's why they limit the stamina purchase per day is only for 10 times, and you're not able to purchase stamina pack. But we can see now, because after they released this video, in our current server now we're actually able to buy stamina pack when the double drop rig event comes in. So but not much, but there's a few different stamina pack difference there. So probably they are starting to sell stamina packs here as well because of their revenue drop. But they did mention they don't want to actually do that because they don't want to earn fast money. They want to actually make the game into a long-term gameplay, so they don't really want to like sell stamina here. Then this guy here is asking about Jack how to actually solve the in-game strategy problem, in-depth strategy problem, because like currently the character seems very few, and before like even we play the game, then we already know who will win, because based on who gets the better enemies, we already know who will win. So Jack here will cover the part that when the game release is already more than 50 kind of animus, and then every animus here is actually very useful. For example, the rare unit or the SR unit here, they are also very strong. There's no useless animus in the game based on what Jack said, because they mentioned that the 3D character is actually more roughly to build compared to the other chibi version, like you can see 2D, or like the chibi version here to actually release the character. So because they're actually making 3D, so it will take time or more time to actually build the animus to actually release it. And a lot of SR character is actually very strong, so a lot of free-to-play player can actually make a lot of very strong SR character into the PvP content and actually able to help them play through the PvP. Alright, then this is their gameplay, and then they also aiming to release until up to 100 animus, so they can actually have better gameplay and strategy to actually go through. And then this player here, the question will be asking about the balancing. Like in this kind of PvP game here, balancing actually plays a very important role. So how are you able to balance Etheria start without power creeping the game? So basically he's asking that will the game actually comes in with power creep in terms of stats, like if you the newer enemies have higher stats, higher multiplier compared with the older enemies, all this thing. So it's a very straightforward as well. Then Jack also directly answer about it. Right, so the first thing they know that in this kind of gameplay, Etheria start, if there's actually a power creep in terms of stats, then it's directly a dead end for them. Alright, 相目的生死线. So they don't really want to make a very power creep in terms of stats, because they know it will just kill the game instantly. But you can't also release enemies that actually able to not able to shine in their own position. Like for example, if you release an enemies that's actually weaker than the current enemies, then player will actually don't really want to summon for it. Like so the idea when they release enemies is not about the power creeping in terms of multiplier. It's actually every new enemies here will bring in a new kind of strategy, 新套路. So probably from the enemies we currently look at, we can see, for example, Nymphonia here, they can actually provide shield and immunity at the same time, but Nymphonia won't power creep in terms of stats. But it gives a lot different kind of mechanic into the game. Bap speed here is more about debuffing, and then we can see here Lydium is a single target, very high DPS, but there's no AoE in a hit. Then Fuchiu here is a very good healer, but the healer is not like comparing to Lingluo or comparing to Sanya. Fuchiu healer is a different kind of healer. It's based on when she get hit or when your unit get action, but also without cleanse. So their target here when they release a new animus, they're trying to, in terms of just power creeping in terms of stats or how many multiplier, they're gonna bring in the new animus that can actually bring in a new strategy, probably different kind of new mechanic to actually make the game more fun. Probably some is for tanks, some is for control. So they want to make a different kind of counter against the whole circle, like cleave, tanks, control unit. Everyone have their own counter, and probably when the new enemies come in, they will buff or probably make a certain meta, like for example cleave or control unit, to make them stronger. So new 新套路带来新体验. So when a new strategy come into the game, then you will have a different new gameplay experience in terms of just power creeping instead in terms like multiplier or the stats thing. So that's how they balance the game, or try to maintain the new enemies not power creeping the old enemies. Cause if that case happens, then in terms of like this kind of PvP game is actually just a direct dead end for that. Then the ending of the video is talking about the full global release on September 25. Gonna be like Japan, Korean, and China, all this kind of unreleased server, they will also release it. So September 25 will be the real global release for the whole server, for the whole world, and then we probably will have better quality of life and also better event as well. I hopefully that's actually the case, instead of like recolor skin or the current arena price that can actually sell you like 50 USD or 60 USD just for arena skin. All this thing here, probably they can actually get rid of that, the bad idea. But so far we probably can put up a bit of time and hope for Etheria start and see if they're actually able to improve in the future, because the launch of Etheria start is not like the best and not the worst, but it's not really that good compared with other gacha game there, because it's actually going a little bit of downhill. But hope they actually improve after the China official release after the September 25, and see we can actually get like better skin, better better quality of life in terms of like bug thing, like event, all these things here, probably a better thing as well in terms of just repeating event. Hope that's actually the case. So feel free to comment down what you guys think about it. I know my translation might actually be a little bit of laggy, because I have to like listen to the Chinese what they're talking about and then real-time translate in my brain into English. So probably when I'm explaining them, probably it's not that clear, but I hope it's actually good enough for you guys to actually know what is the behind the scenes and what they are how they actually think about the game and how they actually design the game. Alright, hope you guys enjoy the video and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Trencan, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwatts, Rimu, Chawny, Antonio Winterspoon, First Law, D&D, thank you so much for your support. And special thanks to the Super Thanks MVP, HMZ Riggs, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Blux, Riku Fred, Chawny. Thank you so much for your support.